Monitoring the Sentinel from Kaide River.
No matter
1985.
where I am, at least the sunset is always the same.
Okay, so this is after he time traveled to the future. His future, anyway.
You can hardly see any stars in this era. Though I have to say, the city lights are a sight to behold. You can hardly...
Well, fair enough.
This place isn't too crowded. Gives me room to hang around and think for a bit. Better take advantage of that. Our mother's terrible at sewing, but she made this for Chihiro. I'd never seen her struggle with any... It's pieced together with scraps of cloth. Not the best quality. Even still, Chihiro took it with her wherever she went. They came ashore during the air raid. They're enormous. Must be over 30 meters tall. Instead of wheels, they move on long leg-like appendages. Quite a terrifying sight. Like something out of hell.
The High Quads. I love the fact you can actually move with the thought. With the thought cloud still on.
Nothing's changed today either. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there, hiding behind all those elaborate curtains.
Wait, does that mean that the Sentinel is still... Does that mean that the Sentinel is still in the same location they left it? I guess they just decided to put more... That does denote the question though. Who is doing all this? I mean, they must have connections and some sort of leeway with the government considering how long the Sentinel's been there.
That Sentinel. It's what brought me here. Why were just the Sentinel and I brought here? That thing is beyond me. I'm no expert, but I know it's capable of some extraordinary feats. Time travel, though. Could the Sentinel possess an ability like that? Before the war, my uncle gave me a sci-fi novel. A story about traveling through time to the future. It only ever felt like a far-off fantasy. But on that day, at that moment, that fantasy became a reality. Electromagnetic rounds are offline. Output's dropped by 50% in both electromagnetic battering rams.
I wonder who did the surgery though to Miura, because apparently unlike Juro, who took extensive nerve damage using his Sentinel, Miura has been operated on and implanted with something that allows him to not get infected by the Deimos code nor suffer any repercussions for prolonged use of his Sentinel. Or at the very least, not too much damage as compared to Juro's memory loss and memory fragmentation.
There are just too many of them, but I'm not about to just sit here and die. I still have 2 minutes before I hit my operating limit.
Ah, okay, so even though he can operate on a longer basis compared to Juro, that doesn't mean he has no limit. It's probably his physical body limit. Piloting the Sentinel must require a lot of endurance and stamina.
Might as well give it everything I got. What the hell?
How in the heck did the government cover that up? There must have been thousands of people who witnessed this giant robot, giant robot literally falling out of the sky and crashing right into that bridge. Also, what are the odds that there is absolutely no one there to get hurt?
Where's the enemy? Did I lose?
Apparently, you were forcefully shifted through time. This is either something as part of the Sentinels' coding, or the Sentinels might possess some sort of survival instinct? No, that's very unlikely. The Sentinels might not be sentient or alive. But then again, maybe they were programmed by Okino to preserve the pilots as much as possible whenever the situation got too grim. Or at least the ones he managed to get his hands on, anyway.
It reached its operating limit. Where am I?
You're in the future,
The
Marty.
air raid. Everything was just on fire. All these giant towers with glass windows. What the hell's going on? The last thing I remember is being surrounded by those new American weapons and... No, it can't be. I've heard about major US cities. These high-rise buildings are common. Was I captured? And they got my Sentinel too? They must have done it when I lost consciousness. Brought me to the mainland as their... No, wait. If the Sentinel just reached its operating limit, then not very much time could have passed.
That's an interesting conclusion.
But this view says otherwise. It's not my homeland. Somehow, I ended up on US soil. If that's the case, fine. I guess this is where I'll die. But I'm not going down without a fight. I'll face the enemy, even without my Sentinel. The Sentinel. This is bad. The Sentinels are top secret. It can't fall into enemy hands. The enemy cannot get their hands on the Sentinel. That's the kind of issue that becomes a national crisis. But what can I do? I can't activate now, let alone initiate self-destruct. I need to slow down and think things over. I should probably go lie low until the Sentinel recovers. But not because I'm afraid. My country, my little sister, I'd give my life for them at the drop of a hat. But I have to be smart right now. And that means waiting for the Sentinel to be up and running. Now that I have a plan, I'd better move fast. I should get out of here before American soldiers show up. I'll stay out of sight until it's the right time to move. Everyone here appears to be Japanese.
Really? Wasn't this the walkway where he met Juro in Juro's prologue? Also, that's an interesting plan. I mean, I suppose it's made with the confidence that the Sentinel won't accept just anyone as a pilot, but then the risk of it being hacked and the risk of it being reverse engineered are still there, so I'm honestly curious. And again, he was thrown into a unknown situation, so can't really blame him for having to, well, make up a plan on the fly and just roll with it.
But something's off. These signs show both kanji and the English alphabet. Ashitaba Printing, Ashitaba Bank. Why are they named after my hometown?
You want to stop by the arcade?
Sure, the one at Sun Mall?
Nah, the one at Joyland. Let's go try out those big new Sega machines that came in.
So there's the plug-in from Sega. Let's go try out the Sega machines that came in. This is really odd coincidence though, considering there's actually a Sega sale right now where I'm at on Steam. What are the odds that I'd be recording an episode after browsing through a Sega sale on Steam?
I have no idea what they're talking about, but their language doesn't sound foreign to me.
Did you see him in last night's episode? Yeah. Oh, he's so amazing. Right? I watch everything he's in.
Female students, though that's quite a bit of exposed leg.
A nice little jab at how different the evolution of traditions went. Back then, it was considered immodest and, well, outright too slutty to expose any part of your skin. It wasn't that bad on the level. It wasn't that bad on the level of some religions or certain cults, but still, it really goes to show just how different traditions can evolve. Like, there's actually no harm in showing a bit of your ankle and elbows.
It almost seems like a different dialect.
It's probably a transition from their old dialect melding with, their conqueror's dialect. A compromise to maintain their old language while also being forced to use the ones who conquered them's language. The world is a very interesting place.
But it's definitely Japanese.
Wait. So doesn't this mean that if he came here, he's gonna meet Natsuno, and then he's gonna start questioning why Natsuno is here, and realize
So many cars. Where in the world am I? This isn't America. It looks like Japan, but everything seems off. This is all just a terrible dream.
Can't blame the guy. I mean, most normal people will actually believe they're just trapped in a terrible dream, as much as anyone would say otherwise. The truth is, the logical part of our brain would pretty much force us to say that and to think that, because we find the thought of things like time travel a flight of fancy, which is quite interesting considering space travel at one time was considered nothing more than a myth or a dream. And heck, airplanes were considered nothing more as impractical lumps of death before the Wright brothers prove otherwise with their demonstration that planes do actually work as intended and can fly you to different locations.
Right? Right. It's nothing to worry about, just my brain acting up. That's why my surroundings appear to be different. We knew what the risks were going in as Sentinel pilots.
Are you seriously trying to explain everything away as you suffering brain damage from the Sentinel? That's an interesting conclusion to jump to.
Professor Doji made it all very clear to us. That's right. This has happened before. I experienced a similar illusion during the Sentinel sync test.
Hey, it's Shu and Nenji.
He's wearing a boy's school uniform, but appears to have a girl's haircut.
What?
Huh? The hell you looking at?
This one has a particularly strange hairstyle.
Hey, you trying to get your ass kicked?
It looks like I've finally gone crazy.
Do you want to see crazy?
Hey, stop!
Where am I?
Well, there's your wake-up call. You're not dreaming everything, Miura.
What is this room? Hold on. I think I remember. Some guy with weird hair hit me with his bag. This doesn't look like a detention facility. Either I'm still seeing things, or someone removed me from the Sentinel. Whoever it was brought me to some kind of lab. It's a calendar. 1985? It's all in my head. It's just an illusion.
But illusions can't hurt physically. You just got sucked unconscious by Nenji. Or, as you so eloquently put it, by the man with strange hair.
Foreign phonograph records. Takatoshi-san used to let me listen to his. Why are there so many records here? There are way more than I saw at the Hijiyamas.
Wait, so Hijiyama actually enjoyed foreign music? Well, fair enough. Music is a universal medium, thankfully, and you can enjoy it without having to take any sides. Like seriously, it seems like people tend to forget that you can enjoy art without liking the artist.
A box-shaped Technicolor projection device.
A box-shaped Technicolor projection device. It's not wrong, but also that's the longest thing I've ever heard someone describe a TV as.
The Sentinel has its own spatial projector as well, but that's highly confidential military technology. It's about baseball. I'm not in a military base, am I?
Well, I'd say it's kind of obvious. Can I play around with the remote control? The guitar? Oh.
Math, modern Japanese, lots of textbooks lined up here. Japanese history.
What is the coincidence that there's a Japanese history book right there? But then again, Shu is a good student in terms of grades, so maybe it's not that far off.
So I really am still in Japan then.
Can I read it?
This can't be right. 1945. The year of Japan's unconditional surrender. Surrender? We lost the war? 1945. That's this year. August 6th. Atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
Oh boy.
140,000 killed. 3 days later, second bomb dropped on Nagasaki. 70,000 killed.
The nuclear bombs.
All from just 2 new American bombs. What is this book? 1951. U.S.-Japan Security Treaty signed. 1964. Tokyo Olympics? How far does this go? Wait. What did that calendar say?
It's 1985.
$1985. It has to be fake. When was this printed? It says here 1985. Could it really be?
Seriously, why?
You okay?
Seriously, why are you so, I don't know, so against the idea? I mean, think about it. You already admitted it yourself that you know the Sentinel has time travel capabilities. I can understand still having doubts about time travel, but you can't deny that the proof is literally hitting you right in the face. Or in the strange man, or in the man with the strange hair case, literally socking you in the face with a bag for some reason. Huh. Nenji sure is violent. I mean, he literally just punched a guy out just because he thought Miura was looking at him wrong.
Here.
It's so cold.
That's all that was in the fridge.
Wow.
Not a big fan of soda, I take it?
Some kind of carbonated beverage? I had ramen once at a festival in Tsutsuji, but I was just a kid.
Lemonade. I find it hysterical. I mean, how did lemonade get turned into ramunade? No, to ramune. I mean, it would be more I don't know, comprehensible if it were something bad, a more butchered version of lemonade like remonade or something, or remorade. But ramune, that's a very interesting interpretation of the word lemonade. I wonder if that thing I read about it being Nobunaga who first introduced lemonade being true.
"1985. Am I still in Japan? But in the future?"
Ah, so you finally come to terms and accepted your situation.
Who are you?
I'm Shu Amiguchi, and we're at my apartment in Kamazumi.
Keitaro Miura. So, how did I get here?
I called a taxi and brought you over after you got knocked out.
So you helped me?
Guilty. You know, you really pushed Ogata over the edge. He was already pissed from being chewed out. If he gets in trouble one more time, he's getting suspended. Be real nice if you two could work things out peacefully.
I need to know one thing. What year is it?
What? Afraid you got knocked into a coma for the last few years? Relax, you didn't get hit that hard. It's still 1985, all right? You haven't missed a day.
No matter where I am, at least the sunset is always the same. I don't care that we lost. I'm proud my country could rebuild after what happened.
That's a nice way to view it. I mean, Japan did rebuild and became better, even though they lost the war.
But I won't accept this future. Now that I know we lose the war, that's all the more reason to go back. I'll bring the Sentinel with me. And I'll change history. It's my duty to fight and protect the people. I have to save as many of them as I can. But what if it's impossible for me to go back? What if I'm trapped here? Chihiro. Alright, that's enough. Get it together. Don't get discouraged. You will make it back. No matter what it takes. I wonder, what if I never actually traveled through time? It's possible that space-time here is warped somehow. But it could just be a local effect. I should try heading toward the school. Maybe time is flowing normally over there.
That's an interesting theory, but then that actually would mean something worse is happening. That would literally mean that two timelines would be melded together and that there's a literal tear in the fabric of the space-time continuum, which essentially means that there's a giant rip through time. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you just came to a worse conclusion than just saying you traveled through time, in all honesty.
Despite a catastrophic loss, Japan recovered quite well. It seems to have entered a prosperous new era, almost too prosperous.
Hurry up, Miwa-chan! Yuri-chan?
Female students. Looks like the school's still here. Before the war, my uncle gave me a store. It only ever to think. I checked the library, but in all of history, not in the US, what was that thing? Our mother's terrible at so I'd never. It's peace. Even still, Chihiro took it with her. Why were just the Sentinel and I? That thing is beyond me. But I know it's capable of some time travel, though. Could the Sentinel possess an ability like that? Isn't that...
Let me guess, he just saw Natsuno.
Hey, hold on!
Miura-kun? Thank goodness.
So this is at a point in time where Natsuno has already traveled to the past, but not in a point in time where Miura has traveled to the future. Or at least this is supposed to be how it goes, but the very fact that in this thought cloud he now remembers 1985 suggests that he may have gone through this in another cycle.
You're Natsuno Minami, right? The one I met at the shrine. What are you doing here?
I've gotta say, you had me pretty worried. I had no idea where you went.
I can't believe you're here too.
I couldn't find you anywhere. I thought you got snatched up and hauled off to Area 51. But anyway, what have you been up to?
Wait, first...
Where have you been?
A kind student's been letting me stay at his place. Aside from that, I've been sleeping outdoors.
Outdoors?
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. It's not that he's going through a different time loop. He's just going through a new day.
Natsuno-san. Get it together, Keitaro. She certainly is quite... Yes, I admit she's bright, cheerful, attractive.
Are you serious? You fell in love with her at first sight?
But right now, I have more urgent matters to tend to.
And I think there's a bigger question at hand. The cutscene they showed in 2108, I believe? Or was it 2106, something like that? Anyway, in the year 2100, there's a version of Natsuno and Miura there. That's quite interesting. And with the way they speak and interact, those definitely aren't these versions of Natsuno and Keitaro. So I wonder.
Hang on. This is my mess, so I have to figure out how to clean it up. But then again, I can't really bring a boy into the house. Oh yeah! Granny Tamao went on a trip, so Jiro-kun should be the only one home. That house does have a lot of rooms.
Granny Tamao?
Sorry. Let me go grab my stuff really quick. I'll be right back, so just wait here. Then we'll head over to the Kurabes' house.
Kurabe?
Flashback. 1945. The Kurabe household.
Managed to leave quite the dent.
Is that Chihiro?
Chihiro? You don't have to cry. It's not like you did this on purpose. I'm sure Uncle isn't mad about it anymore.
What about you? Are you mad?
Of course not. I'll always be on your side, Chihiro.
Aw, that's so cute.
Now, come on out. So, how'd you hit the pillar with the laundry bucket? You must have been playing pretty rough.
The bunny was fighting, and it beat up giant ghosts. Cause the ghosts smash all the houses. And more of them keep coming.
Such strange ghosts. Did you come up with them yourself?
No, Tamao told me about them.
I'm sorry, Chihiro-chan. My father has quite a short temper.
Is it wrong that I love the fact that they put so much attention into the details that you can even see the fingers and the toes? What do you think about it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, so the fingers are the correct number. For a moment there, for some reason, I kept thinking that there were only like 4 of them. You know, like the old shortcuts they did for cartoons.
I'm sorry. This was all my fault.
Tamao-san.
It only happened because I told Chihiro-chan about my dreams.
Oh no.
Is it okay for you to be awake right now?
Mm-hmm. I've been feeling much better lately. And I have Goto-san from Tokyo to thank for that.
Interesting. I do wonder, why is Tamao also getting visions of the future? Doesn't that mean that she's also a time traveler? Because from the scenario that's been set up through each episode of each character, only the time travelers, or at least versions of themselves, even the ones that haven't time traveled yet, receive information about their alternate selves, well, futures in this case.
He's been sharing some foreign medicine with me. It's just that, ever since I started taking it, I keep having strange dreams, but they feel like more than just dreams. They're like memories that I just suddenly remember.
An air raid?
The sirens.
What is with that timing?
This is bad.
Honestly, what is with that timing? That is some horrible timing.
Turn on the radio.
This military broadcast. Air raid alarms have been sounded. Enemy is flying at low altitude. More air units to be expected to prepare against the coming invasion. We ask all citizens to unite as we fortify our air defenses.
It's a massive enemy raid.
We have to hurry to a bomb-proof shelter. Come on, Chihiro-chan. We have to go.
Jiro-kun, are you home?
Ah, I see.
Minami-san.
I see. This should be the part during Juro's story where Natsuno introduced Miura. And also blackmailed him with telling everyone about Megumi living with him.
Couldn't you have knocked first?
Come on, your Granny Tamao and I are best buds. We're neighbors. Think I don't know my way around the place? Anyway, I've got a favor to ask.
Oh, Minami-san. I didn't know you lived so close.
Did you really need to come out?
You're Yakushiji-san, our classmate? Wait, no way. Are you two?
Do you need something from him?
It's not what it looks like. This is just... you know...
Why is Megumi looking so smug?
Natsuno-san?
Oh, come on in.
Pardon my interruption.
Oh, cool. So you get to play this scene in a different perspective now.
So this house is still standing.
Who are you?
My name is Keitaro Miura.
So, it's kinda complicated, but yeah. I need you to let him stay over for a few days.
What? How do you know Minami-san?
Come on, I know you have a spare room. Just let him stay until your granny's back. In exchange, I won't tell anyone you're living with a girl.
That's not...
The details don't matter. Just let him stay, alright? Thanks, see ya!
Let's check everything else first.
Natsuno-san, is this...
It's fine, it's fine. I live super close by. So if you need anything, just let me know.
There she goes. Well, this is awkward.
Natsuno marches to the tune of her own beat. It's not so bad.
Pardon me. I know Natsuno-san's intentions are good, but I really don't want to be an inconvenience.
Are you hungry? Why don't you join us for dinner?
No, I shouldn't.
Your stomach thinks you should.
No, that was,
I'll go fix you a plate.
So, Tamao-san is your grandmother? Is she in good health?
Grandma? She's fit as a fiddle. She's visiting relatives back in Shimane. That's why she isn't here.
Shimane. She must be with her mother's side of the family in Iwami.
Do you know my grandma?
Yes.
You do, huh? So then, how long do you need a place to stay?
Not long. Just until I can make my way back home.
Well, alright. If that's the case, it shouldn't be a problem. Just try not to cause any trouble. Feel free to use the guest room on the first floor.
Thank you. There's a projection device where the radio used to be. It's been lightly remodeled, but it's the same house. I could have sworn it burned to the ground. There's a projection device where the radio used to be. I could have... The damage on this pillar is missing, and it wasn't changed when they remodeled. If this really is the Kurabes house, then it should be right here. Chihiro left a dent in this pillar.
What?
Back on my parents' property.
Oh, it was in 2188, not 2108.
There was a wooden single-story house. It was built in the middle of the 20th century. That humble little place stood for about 100 years. My grandfather often told me stories about it. Some of his fondest childhood memories were at that house.
That sounds lovely. I'll have it produced for you.
You will. But all I have left are old photographs.
That's fine. I can restore them for you.
Thank you, Miura-san. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, were you just on a call with someone else?
yes.
Professor Kurabe?
We were discussing the layout of the residential zone.
Oh, that's right. Professor Kurabe was born in the 21st century. She's 120 years old, right?
Wow.
I know that she's receiving nanomachine treatment.
Oh, okay, that explains it. So they're using nanomachines to extend life expectancy. That might not be that far-fetched. The reason we die is because our cells start to, well, lose their capability to multiply properly. So what if we had a replacement for them? Nanomachines essentially serve as replacement cells. But then the problem is, won't a person be easily taken over, controlled, or even killed just by having their nanomachines, well, tampered with?
But she still looks so young.
She's Professor Morimura's mentor, I hear.
Morimura. Okay, what is actually happening? Professor Kurabe, Professor Morimura, and and who I'm assuming to be, they said born around the 21st century. So I don't know. I highly doubt that's Tamao-san.
Quite an intelligent individual.
Well, yeah. She is the foremost expert on AI, after all.
Right. Anyway, is something wrong?
Why does something have to be wrong for me to call? Well, I just so happen to have a really urgent problem. I need emotional support stat. And I need it from you.
What?
Oh, that does sound urgent. Then I'll be waiting.
What? Also, you assholes! You left us. You left the player on a fucking cliffhanger. Destruction. First area, Asitaba City. Wave 5 cleared. Okay.
Yes,